While walking along a shore, everybody leaves a footprint in the sand. And life is the same exact way. Everybody who ever been on this world has had an impact on somebody else and therefore has left a legacy. Whether you're a crossing guard or a doctor or someone like Steve Jobs, no matter how big or small your interaction with other people are, you have left a legacy on this earth. However, unfortunately, a majority of people's legacies quickly end once they pass away. You know, over time, the tides rise, the water rushes in, and all of your footprints get washed away. Any trace that you were ever there is completely gone, and what's left is just clean sand for somebody else to walk over. And there's certain people with dedication and passion and hard work that work hard to leave a lasting legacy on this earth, and I plan to be one of these people. So I'm going to tell you one of my biggest, deepest, darkest fears, and that's the fear of being I have a fear of being forgotten. I have a fear of being forgotten by my family, by my friends, by my loved ones, by the community, and eventually by the world. And a lot of people call me pessimistic for thinking this way. Everybody calls me pessimistic for thinking this way, but this is my thought process. So there are 107 billion people that have ever been on this world since the beginning of time, about. There currently are about 7.3 billion people on this earth, with 305 million of them in America, 8.9 million of them in New Jersey, and 22,000 people here in Scotch Plains. Now you and me are only one of these very, very big numbers, and obviously that's scary to me. But to add on top of that, the average person makes about 100 meaningful connections in their lifetime with another person, and that's being generous. So that means that the average person makes meaningful connections with about 0.00000000009% of all humanity. And to add more bad news on top of that, a majority of people can't even remember their family members 3 generations back. I mean, I bet not a lot of you could remember the name of your great-great-grandparents, let alone what their personality was like or what they did. So that means that eventually, a few years after your death, you're not even going to be remembered by your own relatives, let alone the rest of the world. And these statistics scare me. This is why I have a fear of being forgotten, because I don't want to live my entire life to walk the entire length of the shore only for it to mean nothing, only for my footprints to be easily washed away. So despite my fear, something that I've realized is what's important is how you change the world and how you impact other people. Because the more change that you bring upon to this world, the deeper and longer your legacy you leave on this earth is, and the deeper your footprint in the sand is. However, I'm just a high school student. I can't do much. I can't invent the next wheel. I can't find a cure for cancer. But what I can do, and what I do plan to do, is impact people through meaningful connections with others. Now, since I was a little kid, since I was in pre-K 3 when I was 3 years old, till 8th grade, I spent 11 years in a small, tiny private school, middle school in Springfield, New Jersey. And through those 11 years I spent, I had classmates since I was, the classmates I had since I was 3, I spent 11 years with the same people. We never had anyone new. And these 22 people became my graduating class and eventually my family. We're all screaming because we're being hit by water balloons, but yeah. So these people were the only people I've ever known all my life. And after graduating, we all went our separate ways. Some people went to private high school, some people went to the town high school, but me, I was the only one that went to UCVTS. So since these people were pretty much the only people I've known ever since I was 3, that meant that going into UCVTS, I would have absolutely no familiar face at all. And this was super, super terrifying for me. I mean, high school is scary enough, but imagine going from a small, tiny, private middle school to being pushed into a large public high school with people from all over the county coming who already know each other. And meanwhile, the only people that I knew were me, myself, and I. And plus, the thing that scared me the most was I was scared that I was going to walk 4 years of my high school through the hallways going unnoticed, only to graduate and be forgotten by everyone like in a few years. No one will remember who I was or that I even ever came to the school. However, at the time, that fear didn't hinder me or stop me. In fact, that fear put a fire under me to get up and leave an impact wherever I go or wherever I went, which was this school. So I decided that if I wanted to be remembered, if I wanted to leave an impact, a legacy, that I had to start somewhere or with someone. Now, making new friends is absolutely horrible for me. Like, obviously I had no problem making friends when I was like 3 years old before high school, because when we were 3 years old, all we cared about was playing, eating, and nap time. And these people were pretty much the only people I knew. So when it came to high school, when it came to the real world, I was super scared. I was super shy when I started talking to people. I become awkward. I don't know what to say, and I like close off. So it was the summer heading into freshman year, and I was scrolling through my Instagram, and I saw this person who in their bio it said AIT class of 2019. And in that instant, I decided to make a decision that I would have never made any other time. And I decided to do something that I haven't done since I was 3 years old, which was make a new friend. So what I did was I decided to slide in this person's DM, and I started a conversation with them. And here is a snippet of our awkward conversation. But at least I tried. At least I went out and did something. And I'm incredibly proud of myself for doing that, because that really changed my life. I not only made the effort to talk to this person, but I made the effort to really make a connection with this person, to really build upon that connection and make a meaningful relationship with that person. Because what's important, because this is absolutely important, making meaningful connections with people allows you to have a longer impact with them, and therefore you leave a longer legacy and a lasting legacy with that person and eventually the world. So I thought that was important. And so what I did from this experience was I learned from it. I applied it. I asked myself, how could I apply this so I could leave my legacy at this school? And I did exactly that, and I feel like I accomplished that. I went out and I did the same thing with so many other people. And since freshman year to junior year, I have made incredible friendships. I've had incredible experiences with other people. And I've made meaningful connections with people not only in campus, but also outside of campus. And it's all because I decided to step out and try to make meaningful connections with people. And I felt like I finally conquered my fear of being forgotten in my school and in my community. And that was all through interaction with people, which I set out to do. But what about my legacy for the world? Well, making a legacy for the world solely through interactions with people is incredibly hard, that wide scale. So that's why ever since I was young, I've always wanted to go into the film industry. So ever since I was young, movies have been a super huge part of my life. I was always glued to my TV screen, watching hours and hours of movies, being trapped, being sucked into these worlds that these directors make. And the people that I look up to are people like Christopher Nolan, Damien Chazelle, Sean Baker, Greta Gerwig, Hayao Miyazaki. Like, these incredible writers, producers, and directors are the people that shaped me to who I am today. They taught me lessons through a movie screen. They taught me how to see the world in different ways. They taught me how to be compassionate, to be ambitious, to really try to change the world. And that was all through a TV screen, and I think that's incredible. I have never met these people, never met these directors in real life, but they still managed to create a personal connection with me, and they still managed to leave a lasting impact on me and millions of other people around the world. And I want to do the same for others. I mean, the fact that you could reach out to such a diverse and wide group of people just through a movie screen is incredible, and that's how I hope to change others, and that's how I hope to leave my legacy. But leaving a legacy is not easy. It's definitely a lot of hard work. Nobody could change the world overnight, and nobody could change the world by having everything handed to them on a silver platter. So, but you always need to start somewhere, and it always takes hard work. So first, a good place to start is to find out what you're good at. Ask yourself, what talents do I have that I could use so I could have a positive impact on this world? Are you an artist, an actor, or a singer that could inspire many through the content that they create? Or are you Are you a scientist or a doctor that could find the cure for cancer? Or are you an engineer or entrepreneur that could come up with the next new thing that everybody will be using? Or are you none of these? Are you just a normal person that could help the world just by volunteering within your community? The point is, everybody could do something, as long as you're not doing nothing. Because don't just stand there idle while other people are changing the world for you. Get out there and actually start making your legacy. Start small. Start with the people around you, which is what I'm trying to do with giving this talk. I'm trying to change the people around me, and then work your way up to your school, to your community, to your country, and to eventually the world. And lastly, what I think is super important to leaving a legacy is the necessity to be a game changer. Now, there was something that really stuck with me from one of my favorite TV shows of all time, which is Sense8 on Netflix. Now, a brief summary: Sense8 is a story about 8 strangers around the world who become connected through their emotions and through their actions. They essentially become one. And one of the characters in this TV show, Nomi Marks, said something that really stuck with me, which is your life is either defined by the system or the way you defy the system. Nobody changes the world by doing things exactly how they're supposed to be. Those who are brave to challenge conventions and think outside the box and take initiative to actually do things outside of the box are the people that change the world. Don't be a follower, because that just means that there's hundreds of people ahead of you leading the way while you just follow behind. Be the one that paves new ways paves new paths and leads people and push humanity forward in new directions. So remember that everybody leaves a footprint in the sand, and these footprints could easily be washed away just by water. But if you work hard, if you take every single opportunity you get and take advantage of it, if you start small and work your way up, and you just try to make a difference, because you could change the course of humanity just through small differences. Make a footprint that'll stand the test of the tides. Thank you.